Hi friends, welcome back to SQL with Ravimartha. Today we will see how to find missing sequence number in SQL. This is part 23 of this series. If you haven't watched the previous parts of this series, I'll place the links in the description of this video. So let's get started. The problem statement is find the missing sequence number from the below table. Here we have a table called tblEmployee. So the table is having employee ID column, which is having the values 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 14. If you observe, there are a couple of numbers which are missed. That is number 2, number 3, and then number 9, 11, and 13. So there is gaps in the employee ID table. So we were asked to find those missing sequence numbers, right? And if the employee ID is not starting from 1, that's the second scenario. Suppose example, the organization started the employee IDs from 51,000. So in that case, the table is having 50,000, 1, 4, 9, 13, 17, 20, 25, and 16. If you observe, there are a lot of values which are skipped, right? So these are the values which are missed. So we were asked to find the missing sequence numbers of these employee IDs, right? So these are the missing sequence IDs, and let's see how to find this in SQL. So let's flip back to SQL Server Management Studio and write the query. So we are in SQL Server Management Studio. Let's click execute. So this is the same table which we have seen in the presentation. So before writing the SQL query, let's understand how to solve this problem, right? So I'm going to take an Excel sheet. So this is the table input which was given in the problem, right? So we have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So to solve this problem, what we are doing is we are generating a sequence from the starting of the number, so that is 1, till the maximum number, that is 14. So from 1 till 14, we are trying to generate the sequence. Once we generate the sequence number, we can do a left join. So the sequence number left join the table input, which would give the skipped values, that is 2, 3, and number 9, 11, and 13, right? And similarly, if you see the second question as well, what we are doing here is they said the starting number is 51,000 and the last number is 51,026. So for that, we have generated the same sequence number. So 51,000, and we have generated the number still 51,026. So once we generate the sequence number, we do a left join. So the generate sequence left join the table input, which will give the skipped numbers, right? So let's look at in action how to write the query. So to save some time, I have written the query. Let me explain the query here. So this can be achieved using by generating the sequence number. So that is the sequence number here. So let me write the query for the sequence number here. So this is a recursive CTE which I have written here. So what it does is, it will, as you know, the recursive CTE, so the first select query is an anchor query, and the second query is a recursive query. That means the anchor query will execute only once, and based on the input, based on this initial input, it will loop through with the second statement, right? So in this case, the first query will give the value as 1, and so the CTE will hold the ID value as 1. In the next iteration, it will substitute the value ID as 1 here, so it will generate 2 as the next number. Now the ID holds the value 2 in the CTE, and it will be substituted here in the third iteration, right? Now 2 plus 1 is 3, so it will keep on generating the sequence number, and once the ID value reaches 14, it will exit the loop. So let's execute this sequence number generation. So that is the recursive CTE. So we have the IDs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till number 14. So we have achieved the sequence generation here. So once we have achieved the sequence number, we are doing, so this is the ID column which I want the missing sequence number. So this CTE holds all the values from 1 to 14. Now I'm doing a left join with the employee table, which is having only few of the IDs. That is the subset of the recursive query. So I'm joining the CTE, which is having all the values, with the table values on the employee ID. So this is the generator sequence, and this is the employee ID, the input table sequence. And I'm finding the values which are missed in the table, that is E.employee is null. And the max recursion, this is a query hint. So I'm giving the value as 0. That means I'm asking it to go for the infinite number of iterations if required, right? So let me execute this. When we execute this, we will get the number as 2, 3, 9, 11 and 12. So simply what we are doing is, here we are generating a sequence using the recursive CTE, and then we are doing a left join with the tblEmployee table, and then finding the values which are missed in the employee table using this where clause, and we are achieving the desired result which were asked in the question, right? This is part 1. So let's see the second question, right? So this is the second question, that is we have a table called employee1, which is having the values, and there are some of the values which are skipped here. So if the employee ID starts from some random number and ends at some other number, right? In that case, I'm taking the value as so what are the value which is minimum from the employee table, I'm assigning the values to the start ID variable and the max ID to the end ID, right? So if they give some other numbers, we can hard code it here. We can assign it here to the start ID and end ID, and we can find all the missing numbers. And we are trying to generate the IDs starting from the start ID and end ID, right? So let me show the query here. So here I'm firing the query. It is pretty much simple as the first query. Only thing which we have done is we have assigned the value of the start ID and end ID based on the table input, so which dynamically assigns the value, and it will be looping through the values, right? So here what happens, it takes the minimum value and place it in the start ID, maximum ID to the end ID. Now using the recursive CTE, the first value will be 50,000, right? And the next value, the ID holds the 50,000 value, and the next iteration that 50,000 will be substituted here, and 50,001 will be generated. Now the CTE ID value holds 50,001, and the next iteration it takes 50,001 plus 1, so it generates 50,002. Similarly, it will generate all the values from minimum value to till the end value, which is 51,027, right? And once the value reaches 51,027, that is the max value, it will come out of the loop. Similarly, we are doing the same left join, so that is this holds all the values, and we are doing a left join on the employee ID, and we are trying to fetch all the skipped values from the table. So let me fire this query again and see. So this is the output which we got, and this is what asked in the question. Hope you like this video, and if you have any other easy ways of finding the output, you can comment in the comment section of this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let's meet in the next video, and till then, take care of yourself and have a great day. Thank you very much.